Wow, even Sky News couldn't ignore it. In their coverage of Tommy Robinson's Unite the Kingdom rally, one of their own correspondents admitted something that completely shatters the mainstream narrative. He said, and I quote, "The most alarming aspect of the event was just how normal the people marching were. My own impression was that they were the sort of people you would meet in a country pub. Think about that. For years, legacy media have smeared ordinary Brits, mums, dads, veterans, workers, as far-right simply for standing up for their country. But when confronted with over 1 million people shoulder to shoulder, they finally had to admit the truth. These weren't extremists, these weren't caricatures. These were ordinary, decent people, the backbone of Britain taking to the streets. The old smear tactics don't work anymore. The scale of this movement is undeniable, and even Sky News had no choice but to say it out loud. Let's have a watch of what Trevor said. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more." These were the scenes. Following this, Trevor Phillips had this to say about the rally. 150,000 people crammed into central London, most carrying national flags, the Union Jack, the Cross of St George, even the Scottish saltire, protesting about immigration, about free speech, and about the decline of Christianity. There was some fearsome rhetoric, including from Elon Musk, who called for the overthrow of the British government. At the margins, there was some hooliganism. But I think that for those who opposed Robinson and his ilk, the most alarming aspect of the event was just how normal the vast majority of the marchers were. I spent an hour or two among them, and my own impression was that they were mostly the sort of people you'd meet in a country pub, or in a half-time queue for the ale at football or at a concert. There was a sprinkling of black and brown faces, and the event was brought to a close by a gospel group singing Jerusalem. All that must worry the traditional mass parties, Labour and Conservatives, now polling at less than 40% between them. They're draining support to parties like Reform and the Greens. And yet, a man recently out of jail, condemned as an extremist thug by most mainstream media outlets, can rally a demo the size of the entire population of Cambridge or Blackpool. A feat you couldn't imagine either Sir Keir Starmer or Rishi Sunak pulling off anytime soon. And there it is, straight from Sky News. They finally admitted what we've known all along. This movement is made up of ordinary, hard-working British people. The kind you see in your local pub. The kind who keep this country running every single day. For years, the media has relied on smears, labels, and fear tactics to try and shut this movement down. But when faced with the reality of over 1 million people marching proudly through London, they couldn't keep up the lie. This is bigger than politics, bigger than labels. It's about a nation rising to its feet. And no matter how they try to twist it, the truth is out there for everyone to see. In other news, Sadiq Khan has caved under pressure from trade unions, putting forward a pay rise for tube drivers after strikes battered London this week. Transport for London, TfL, and the London Mayor are set to meet on Monday, where a no-conditions pay offer will be put on the table to tube trade unions. Transport workers in the capital demanded a 3.4% to 4% increase in their basic wages, which would take the average wage to £38,772. The average tube worker salary is already 71% higher than the overall national average, and that number is set to increase as Sadiq yields to demands. We believe that this offer makes the best use of the budget we have available and will maximise the level of pay increase we can provide for our people, the agenda read. These types of unconditional pay hikes are often known as no strings by unions to their members. The move from Mr. Khan has been compared to handing out freebies by London Conservatives. Spokesman for the Tories at City Hall, Keith Prince, said Labour must learn that such moves with no conditions are not a form of negotiation. Mr. Prince said, "This inflation-busting pay rise does nothing to prevent future strikes, nothing to undo the disruption we have seen this week, and nothing to reassure Londoners that TfL and the Mayor of London have their interests at heart." Tens of thousands of commuters were forced to walk, cycle, or take a taxi during the week, with bike collisions increasing by a third within the first few days, according to the London Ambulance Service. Footfall plummeted in areas of the capital, with businesses in Canary Wharf and Westminster down by 31% compared to the week before. Union members said their biggest discontent is the length of their working week rather than wages. However, striking tube, drivers have insisted they receive 2-for-1 entry to Legoland, Thorpe Park, and Chessington World of Adventures as part of their bonus. Mr. Prince stated, "The RMT, Rail, Maritime and Transport has brought the capital to its knees to demand discounted theme park tickets and an extra day off a week. It's a joke. Londoners work hard for the things they want, And if the RMT thinks they're going to hold the city to ransom for a go on the roller coasters, then they'll find out very quickly how little Londoners support them to do so. This crisis cannot go on. Where is the mayor and where is his leadership at this crucial time for our city? The Bakerloo, Central District, Hammersmith and City, Jubilee, Metropolitan, Northern, Piccadilly, Victoria and Waterloo and City lines were all suspended during the week. Commuters were seen flocking to the Elizabeth line, which was one of the few tubes operating normally. Should tube workers get their demands, it will cost a whopping £200 million. Claire Mann, Chief Operating Officer at Transport for London, TfL, said, "I'd like to say thank you to our customers and everyone in London for their patience during the RMT strike action this week. We have worked hard to operate as much of the transport network as possible, but I know it has been challenging for many people to travel in the capital this week, which has had a huge impact on businesses and hospitality across the city. We remain disappointed that the RMT chose to go ahead with this disruptive industrial action despite our fair, affordable pay offer. We've invited them for further talks next Wednesday and hope to reach a resolution to this dispute. The RMT has been clear that its main concern is fatigue, and we are happy to discuss the many options we have to help our staff manage fatigue. In the meantime, we continue to urge them to put our offer of 3.4% to 4% to their members. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.